thank you for taking part in the naming of the brand. If you've been on our Patreon or if you've been on our social media, on our newsletter, all the polls are now closed. We have taken the votes. They have been counted and verified. And we can now reveal the name for our skincare brand is... Welcome back. He's Joel Dommett.
And he's Ben Shephard, and this is The Businessman, the show that follows our attempt to start a men's skincare range from the ground up. How's it been going so far, Ben?
Well, a little bit like this, Joel.
Ben Shephard from GMB this morning.
Yeah.
Legend.
Yeah.
Of television.
Yeah.
And Joel Dommett from the jungle.
Yeah. From the jungle.
We're starting a skincare business.
I don't know what I think about your men's care range.
Okay.
So what's its reason to be?
Okay, so... Oh, God, this is so stressful. So it feels like we don't have a business.
No.
And so if we don't have a business, if we don't get people signing up to the survey, then we can't go to the investors and go like, well, look, well, we've created this community. And if we can't get investors, then we don't... then all of this is pointless. We have to go back to our house with our tail between our legs.
It's for nothing. You can catch up on the missed episodes by subscribing on YouTube. Follow wherever you get your podcasts. Also follow us on Instagram.
Please do.
Because there's loads of cool stuff on there, isn't there?
Loads of cool stuff. Sometimes I'd say too much cool stuff.
Hey, Joel.
Hello.
Did you know that 99% of UK businesses are small or medium-sized?
That is interesting.
Yeah, 99%. They are the businesses that are the beating heart of our communities, our economy, and they matter to us, which is why we're teaming up with BT Business for our brand new feature, the Small Business Spotlight.
Yes, next month we want to shine a light on your business and the amazing work that you do. It's super simple. Just follow the link in the episode description and drop us a voice note. Tell us who you are, what your business is called, what you do, and why you deserve to be in the spotlight.
Yeah, we'll share your shout-outs in upcoming episodes. You can even nominate a small business you love because BT Business knows how hard these owners work, and we all want to celebrate them.
Yes, we do. So follow the link in the description or head to our Patreon to record your voice note. And thank you to BT Business for helping us keep small businesses moving at pace with reliable, secure connectivity.
What are we talking about today?
Oh, my God. We are speaking to Pete Markey on the show. He is the marketing consultant to this beautiful firm that we are creating. and he is a wonderful man who has loads of knowledge. And so I'm very excited to have him across the table for you to all meet him because we've grown to know him very well now.
Vast experience in the world of retail, business, marketing, beauty. He's going to be talking all about brand values today. And very excitingly, Joel Dommett.
What?
Our listeners and our viewers on YouTube have been voting. We are going to reveal what this skincare brand is going to be called.
I don't think I'm ready for this day.
I get quite scared.
Yeah.
Whenever it comes to actually, right, this is it. Now, I know that this hasn't just been down to us, though. People have been voting on the Instagram, on the YouTube, on the Patreon, on the vet. Well, there's loads of different places where people have been sending us their thoughts on the name, on the three names. But we are going to reveal the one.
We have to do it. Even though I know this is the right thing. Still, I'm like, This is why I don't pick paint colours in my house.
The responsibility is heavy.
Oh, my God.
That's why we put it out to all of our listeners and our viewers on YouTube. But before then, we need to get some other very important business out of the way. The business of Ben versus Joel.
I assume there's going to be something in there that's
really
like
exciting.
Like music.
Flames, explosions.
Joel versus Ben. And then the noise of a lion eating a tiger.
Are you the Are you the tiger?
Yes. I think in that metaphor, I'm the lion and the tiger.
Okay. So for our new listeners, if you found us before now, where have you been? But if you have, then we had this skincare survey that we're trying to do, the biggest ever men's skincare survey. We're looking for 10,000 surveys to be completed at some point. What we've decided to do, though, because we wanted to make this more interesting and more competitive, is if we can have 5,000 completed surveys by the day of love, February the 14th, the person who is the fewest contributors to those surveys, whether that be you or me, will have to have a part of their anatomy pierced with a piece of iron for life.
Is it iron?
Is it life?
Don't really.
No.
I don't think it's
Can it be
for life.
plastic?
Stop. I think you need to stop putting parameters on it, because the problem is that I think originally it was like, you could just, let's get a bit something pierced, and then it was like, let's let them pick, and then let's not pick the amount of time it has to be on. Stop adding things on, Dan. For God's sake.
We definitely need 5,000. Unless we've got 5,000,
yes,
there ain't no piercing. But we have an update on numbers and where we are.
Where we at?
Russ has an update.
Hey, Ben and Joel. So this is where we're at with the surveys. You've had a much better week, both of you, so well done. Whatever you're doing, keep it up. Now, the numbers. Total number of surveys completed are 2,756. Nice. And now for the important bit. Ben, you've completed 796. And Joel, you've completed a whopping 975. Which means, Joel, you're the new leader,
again.
and Ben, sadly, it's your body part up for the piercing.
Oh, my
The area of body most voted for by the audience to receive that piercing is your nipple. And listeners, viewers, if you want this piercing to actually happen and you haven't filled out the survey, well, we need 5,000 responses by February the 14th for this forfeit to actually take place. And we're going to do it in the studio. So come on, everyone, get surveying.
People need to stop adding things to this. We're now doing it in the studio. People just adding things onto this task.
That's a big jump in your surveys.
It's a big jump in my surveys.
You've gone from like 300 to 900 in a week.
I think, so it's hard to know
It's because you went dirty on the Patreon.
I went dirty on the Patreon, and
well, look, fair play. No, this is good. This is good.
Yes,
because we want the surveys. I'm very happy to hear that you have contributed so significantly this week. Although I don't think I've been helped massively by some of my friends, because we were set the challenge, of course, this week to get a celebrity to post about the survey.
Yep.
Okay. So I managed to get Kat to post about the survey.
What are you doing? Well, I'm just prepping for some stuff. Well, haven't you got that questionnaire that you want everybody to fill in? And isn't the loser going to have their nipple pierced?
Well, so I want your followers to take part in our skincare survey. Me and Joel's business, we're launching a skincare business. The idea is they do the survey, it only takes 6 minutes to do, and if we get 5,000 by the 14th of February, Valentine's Day, one person who's had the least contributors gets pierced.
Right.
But I want you to get your followers to vote for me so Joel gets pierced.
Yeah, but there's no way you're winning that, Sunshine. So I've got this to kind of like keep everything in place, first of all, and then it's really ladies' choice. Do you want like a fancy pin? Do you want a gun? Or shall we just go for the old-fashioned?
I'm enjoying the idea of piercing you too much, Lily.
Yes.
Okay.
Questionnaires. Fill them in.
I'll put the link on. If you do the questionnaire, take the survey, it'll take 6 minutes. And please vote for Joel, not my nipples!
You work so well together. You should go on telly more often.
I have
together.
a feeling like it may be backfiring, because your jump in surveys may well be down to Kat asking everybody to vote for me.
This is the problem, Ben, is that your nipples are too good. They're too nice. This is the problem, Ben. When you wear shirts, the nipples protrude through the shirt so often, then people will want to get those nipples pierced.
These nipples ain't for everyone.
I think it's backfired for you.
But the challenge was to get a celebrity friend to try and post. Did you manage to get a celebrity friend to post?
This has been an awful week. This has been an awful week in so many ways, right?
Wait, I didn't ask how your week's gone.
I
asked if you managed to get a celebrity friend to post.
I text so many people. It's a mixture, right? Firstly, I don't have any friends. Secondly, it's also like most of my friends that are famous are comedians, and comedians who, they have this real protection over their brand of being funny. And then suddenly I'm like, oh, can you post and say, and no one's replying to my texts anymore. Not even about the survey. No one's replying to my texts in life anymore.
You just spent 2 hours with the legend that is Paul McKenna.
Well, it's true.
Hypnotising you.
I didn't ask Paul McKenna.
Why did you not ask Paul McKenna to post about our survey?
That's so true. I should have Paul McKenna to do it.
How have your surveys jumped when I'm the only one who's done any work?
That is very true. Paul McKenna is the only person I should have asked. Out of all of those people that I text, I should have thought about the fact that I spent a long time with Paul McKenna, and I definitely should have get Paul McKenna to do it.
By the way, not only did you not, I got Kat to do it, and you didn't even ask Paul McKenna.
I didn't even ask Paul McKenna.
He was too busy moisturising.
I was too. To be fair, the hour I spent with Paul McKenna, 45 minutes of it, I was asleep.
Which was the point. But I have since had another friend post for me.
Oh my God, stop it. Make me look like a pile of rubbish.
Just like one of us is making an effort, but you're getting the benefit. I still don't understand how this works. It is another one. This is the wonderful Sam Thompson who has posted boards as well.
Me in my mission to protect my nipples. Me and Joel are doing a skincare survey for our brand. I need your followers to click on the link and do the skincare survey. Whoever has the least number of people who have done it will have to get a part of their body pierced.
Okay, look, I'm going to take this away quickly, Ben, because he said, let's protect Ben's nipples. I don't want to protect his nipples. I want to see him pierced. I want to see them pierced. I want to see his nipples pierced, but please do the survey anyway, because it is actually...
We'll put the survey link on here.
But we do want to see the nipples. Don't protect.
Joel's got nipples that he wants to share with the nation with metal through them, or any other part of his body. Sam, don't do that.
We love you.
Mwah.
It's great. Everyone's going to want his nipples done. This is working perfectly.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Kat, for being lovely and posting. If you can protect my nipples, that would be lovely, rather than playing into the evil Dommett and his desire to...
Can I be the one who does it?
That's escalated. Now that Russ has said it's got to be done here, what are you going to do it with your teeth?
Yeah, and honestly, it feels weird when you've got one. Why don't we just do both?
Stop now. We still have a few weeks. The 14th of February.
Yes.
We need to have 5,000 done by. I think we're at, what did Russ say?
I've just been sent a text saying that we've just passed 3,000.
Completed surveys?
Yes, 3,151.
It's getting too close now. I'm starting to sweat.
This is very exciting. So keep filling out those. So we are that
Mrs.
is
Shephard doesn't know I'm doing this.
The way.
Mrs. Shephard does not know I'm doing this. She does not know.
But there's a problem with both of our wives. Both of our wives found out, I think, yesterday when we put it online. And this is, first of all, it proves a lot of things. First of all, our wives don't they don't want us to get a nipple piercing. Secondly, they both don't listen to this podcast, and I'm livid about it.
They're literally not really interested. But that was the first challenge. Now, what I'm led to believe is that by winning a challenge, you get a lot of bonus points onto your surveys, not completions. So, and that's going to have a bearing. So I win week one's challenge.
You definitely win week one. I should have asked Paul McKenna. I should have asked Paul McKenna.
Should have asked
really
Paul McKenna.
Silly. That was very silly of
Silly
me.
you sleeping on the job.
I know.
Right. So that's challenge one.
We've got a new challenge this week, Ben.
What is the challenge this week?
The challenge this week, this is a good one, I think, is to approach a stranger and ask them about their skincare routine, and video proof is required. Bonus points if you manage to get them to fill out the survey. Okay.
So we've got to go up to a stranger and we've got to just randomly engage with them and ask them about their skincare routine.
Yep.
And then ideally get them to fill out the survey too.
And if we get one person to do it, I think we should do how many people we can get. So it's basically like, because we don't want to come in and be like, we both got one. So it's like, it's multiples. How many gets the most people going up to them in the street? And stuff.
You didn't get any this week.
I didn't get any this week.
And you're already asking for multiples.
I know, but it's easier to ask John from Bradford instead of asking Paul McKenna, isn't it?
I'm not sure it is.
Isn't it?
Why is that bloke off The Masked Singer asking about my skin? And what's he making me fill out this thing for?
Yeah.
You're all right with that?
I think I'm absolutely pretty good with it, to be fair.
So we've got to try and film it. We've got to try and get them to fill out the survey. And then we will come back next week and work out where we are.
Yes, let's do it. Joel, don't forget. Don't forget. I
can't believe I'm so far behind. I really cannot believe it. I was so far ahead and now I'm so far behind. Damn you, Dommett!
It's really fun. I think it's finally in your life working against you that you're so attractive. Finally. It's got you this far, Ben.
My nipples aren't ready for this.
It's.
Is this what business is really like?
Your nipples might not be ready, but the country is.
Right then, should we talk about the names?
Let's talk about the names.
Thank you for taking part in the naming of the brand. If you've been on our Patreon or if you've been on our social media, on our newsletter, all the polls are now closed. We have taken the votes. They have been counted and verified. And we can now reveal the name for our skincare brand is...
Joel and Ben for Skin. Yeah!
It feels like there should be a fanfare of something.
We're going to put the same thing in of the lion eating the Joel and Ben for Skin.
So it was an idea and a name that was thrown out by Russ's wife. A long time ago, it was put into the mix by Russ's wife. She sent me the message. Russ's wife, Charlie, sent me the message saying, how about Joel and Ben's foreskin? I thank you. So Charlie is the inspiration for it.
Thank you, Charlie.
We have discussed it at length in our naming session, which you can get on the Patreon as well. We had the sensible option, we had a sort of fun option, and then we had the more disruptive option, didn't we?
And it seems like people have gone for the more disruptive one. Although, actually, what I think was actually very interesting, it was closer than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to run away with it and everyone was going to go, ha ha, call it this. And but actually, people really like different names for different reasons. Yeah. I thought it was fascinating.
Lots of my friends that had seen it really thought Duo was lovely. They got the humour and they really enjoy the idea of it being Joel and Ben for Skin. But Duo really ran it a close second, just in terms of sort of people seeing, I can see why that would work and it looks sophisticated and great. However, it's
happening.
For Skin.
What was very interesting, actually, and this is the first time in our business journey so far where the community that we are trying to create has really come into its own and been really beneficial, because the entire time, is singing the praises of this name mug. I've been talking about it all the time. Oh, maybe it works. Maybe it works. Great. I even went into the naming workshop and was like, this is a great name. And everyone else was like, maybe it is. Oh my God, it's cool. And as soon as we put it out there to the community, nobody liked it. Like, nobody's liked it at all. It's been the lowest in all of the surveys across all of the platforms. And I just feel really glad. This is, again, the first time in this process that I feel glad that we've got this community to be able to ask.
To guide us.
Because it's really worked.
It did. Yes. And well done for bringing the worst name.
Thank you. It's just the first worst thing that I've brought to the table. There's going to be many more.
I feel excited about it. It's funny. Because it's disruptive, like Chris Evans said when I showed it to him. It feels disruptive. I know that lots of people are going to have their own feelings about it, but I think that's the nature of it. So do get in touch and let us know what you think, because we really value your thoughts. And actually, as Joel was saying, it's a community that's helping us guide all these decisions along the way. But ultimately,
it's happening. This is it. We've decided on it now. We've all decided on it. This is our thing that we're bringing to the world. Joel and Ben's foreskin. It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. We also want to know what is the most stupid brand names that you have ever heard of. We'll take a look at these in next week's episode. The link is in the description, so submit them there, please. Also, you can do it on the Patreon, I'm sure.
Give us great brand names names that didn't make any sense, crazy brand names that started off feeling quite disruptive, but then it sort of came a bit more mainstream. I heard a brilliant one the other day that sort of really divided everybody. It's a meal service, a meal prep service, and they do food for you, and it's called Grubby. Okay,
great.
so you've taken the idea of grub, but they've made it grubby. And of course, and it really divided opinion. The food was delicious, right? It's really fantastic offering. But grubby, because it's food, but grubby feels a little bit disruptive. And the packaging was fantastic, but it was one of those things you kind of go, do you want to eat grubby food? Or actually, is it just really good fun? Look at that. That's
but
great.
Also the marketing of it, eat grubby food, that sells itself. It's like, but ultimately, in the long run, if it becomes a success, the name doesn't matter. But getting noticed to start off with does matter. You know, it's like band names don't matter. It's like I was in a band when I was younger. Right, I was in a band
What was your play?
We played new metal music.
Of course you did. You singer?
And I was the lead singer.
Of course you were.
You don't put this face on drums, Ben. Okay.
See, you sang about new metal, so you want piercings with metal.
That would have gone perfectly when I was 15. We were called Cyrus with a silent P.
Poseidon?
P-S-I-R-U-S. We clearly didn't know psoriasis was a thing.
I was going to say, it sounds like a skin infection. You were always drawn to sorting out people's skin when you're in a new metal band.
It's so true. And we played one gig. There's 6 people there. I crowd surfed, and turns out when you crowd surf with 6 people, it feels like you're your own funeral.
Yes, you'd probably get, and it's going to hurt when they drop you.
Yeah.
One gig's enough if it's the best gig that ever happened.
Enough.
Right, so the name has been decided. It wasn't just us that decided it, and it was our listeners and viewers on YouTube, as well as the team we did the session with.
Yes.
And one of the people in that session is a legend of the world of retail, and he's going to be joining us on the podcast now to share his insights into brand values, marketing, and how on earth we're going to turn Joel and Ben for Skin into a world-leading skincare brand. Joel,
Ben,
these are the moments I feel like we're doing business.
God, it's scary, isn't it?
Because our marketing director is sitting opposite us.
I'm in the room.
He is in the room.
And what a commanding voice he has.
The brilliant Pete Markey is here. Pete, if you were to describe yourself in 3 words, no. If you were to describe your work history, how would you explain what it is that you've done and how you've come to be our cherished and much lauded marketing director?
Well, first of all, I'm loving working with you both. We're having so much fun.
We are.
The name is amazing. I've been really lucky enough over the last few years to work on some amazing brands. So most recently, Boots, where I worked for 4.5 years, worked on some big campaigns, particularly enjoyed working on Christmas. Before that, I've worked on a range of sort of financial services. I've worked for TSB, I've worked for Aviva and Roland Sun Alliance, so a bit of financial services as well. But particularly the last few years have been about beauty. And I've been doing some fun consulting, including working with yourselves the last few months. But I love marketing. It's a beautiful craft, and it's fun working on new and exciting emerging brands.
What is it like working with us?
It's brilliant because nothing's a silly idea. The way we brainstorm, we throw all things out there.
Yeah.
And often in a business context, you have more constraints on things. You sort of narrow your thinking. And actually, you guys have been so open to go, well, look, we're up for trying this, pushing the brand here. The other bit is you're so invested in what you're doing. And actually, there are the best celebrity tie-ups I've seen are those where the people behind it are really invested in the brand. Yeah. They care about the values. They care about what it means. They care about the direction that brand goes in. That's what I love about working with you both. You both really care about the end point for this brand, as do I. And that's exciting to work with people that feel that way.
What we are desperately hoping is we're going to create products that reverse age us.
Oh, yeah.
All of us, yeah.
And ultimately, that's why we care so much. Pete. So look, we've got you in because we need to discuss brand values. We've got a name for the brand now. We're all very excited with that process that we went through and honing that down. But we need to discuss brand values. I mean, this is your area of expertise. Can you just explain the importance of brand values, what they are, and why we need them?
Definitely. So view brand values a bit like your sat nav. They're there to give you direction. Can you imagine going on a trip and not knowing where you're going? Yeah. The brand values direct and guide what your brand is about and where it's going. Without it, you're like this sort of rudderless, directionless thing. And you think, I'm not sure what this thing's about or where it's going.
What we've been doing for most of our lives.
Absolutely.
Well,
I've always
you winged
felt
it till
rudderless,
now.
to be honest. Yeah.
But with this brand, the values are going to be really key because it's what connects customers to you. It makes them go, this is a brand that the values I can identify with. If it's about trust, if it's about expertise, if it's about authenticity and beauty, if those are your values, then people can go, I connect with that. I feel that way. Those values align with my values. Therefore, I buy into that brand. And actually, we all think about brands we interact with every day, from the coffee shops we go to the beauty products, to the places we go to eat, to the whatever. Those things are ultimately driven by the psychology of values. Brands, you go, I want that app on my phone. I identify with that brand. It's relevant to me and it's relevant to my life. The best brands today really are relevant. They have values that are modern, they're fresh, they tie into people's thinking today, and they align with people's own personal values. That's a powerful formula.
Coming from a place of pure naivety, what is the difference between branding and marketing?
So branding comes back from the day in the olden times when people used to literally brand cattle. It'd be like, this one belongs to me, with a sort of a branding iron. Yeah. And it goes right back to those days. You see, there you go. There you go.
I'm come from a farming background where we used to brand cattle.
Your heritage.
Yeah.
That's so ridiculous.
So you are a brand master.
Hold on. By the way, what did you think they were doing it for? Just for a bit of a laugh.
Yeah, graffiti.
Graffitiing cattle.
Tagging the cattle.
That's it. But it goes back right to those days of going, I'm putting a mark of distinction that I own this thing, I own this equity.
Funny.
And so a brand is all about, in effect, it's naming, but it's identity. It's a mark. It says this thing stands for something. This has equity. This belongs to me. This belongs to you. You think about the brands we've grown up with. So Coca-Cola, a great example. You go, that brand, when you see that logo, you see that mark, it means something straight away. Before you even see the marketing, it means something. So the difference is branding gives something a name, but gives it context. It gives it depth. It gives it a reason for being. And then the marketing brings that to life. It tells the story. So with the brand we're launching, you've got a great story. It's not just a brand. It's not just a name. There's a story behind why you're doing it. And that's when brand and marketing work so well together. It's about the naming, it's the depth, and it's storytelling that goes brilliantly with it too.
Okay, so from your experience then, Pete, can you give us some examples of brands where you think they've absolutely nailed it and what they have managed to create and how they've delivered their message and their brand values has meant that they've become a huge success? And possibly some that you feel like may have gone wrong along the way as well. Some, because that can happen, can't it? Some things can sort of burn really brightly and then suddenly disappear.
Well, definitely. Back to the sat-nav bit, brands lose their way. And
yes.
We're probably all point to brands that do that. So good example in the space we're talking about is Bulldog skincare for men.
Yes.
I think they've done a super job. So their values were about being simple, natural, ethical, humorous, affordable, all those things, and attached to a brand that felt very British, very male.
Yeah.
They've done that really well, and they've stayed really true to what they're about. Fantastic brand. Another brand I point to in beauty is Fenty. So Rihanna is very invested in Fenty. So if you come onto the website, you engage in their content, the founder behind that brand is really involved in what they're doing and the direction that brand is going in. That's about radical inclusivity. It's about authentic representation, high performance, culturally relevant products. Immediately you go, that's a brand that is distinct in its marketplace, and it's done. Both those brands have done particularly well. You talked about brands that may have lost their way. We all grew up with The Body Shop.
Yes.
Anita Roddick, that was a phenomenon on the high street. It was all about, it was cruelty free. That brand had a North Star, didn't it? Anita Roddick just drove that through. But it's really lost its way in recent years through various acquisitions, mergers, sales. It'd be hard pressed to say, what does Body Shop stand for today? So it's really easy for brands to lose their way. Another good example is Starbucks. Starbucks is all about being the third place. It's not your home, it's not your work, it's this other place. But they've really struggled in recent times because it's become about fast food. It's become about fast turnaround, less about the experience of sitting and enjoying the third place. So it's very easy as you shift the brand potentially to lose your access point and lose your sense of direction.
Is there something as well along the way, Pete, where something like Body Shop emerges on the high street and we haven't seen the like of it before? But then, of course, that market becomes more competitive, more congested, because undoubtedly Starbucks, probably the first coffee chain that I can remember noticing. And then all of a sudden there's a proliferation of other massive coffee chains. So they have to compete in a slightly different market.
It's really true, because nothing stands still.
No.
So you launch your brand, and be the same when we launch this fantastic product with yourselves. It'll get noticed, and people will look to see whether they can copy it. But the best brands, I guess, have within their DNA from day one something that's really distinct about them that's hard to copy. Think about where we're taking this brand. In its DNA, we want something to be so distinctive that if people look in, it's hard to copy because they can't copy what the two of you are bringing or what's distinct in the product or distinct about the value or positioning. And I think for Body Shop, people did try and copy some of that DNA, but I think because they were first there and because the products were built out of it, it was hard to copy. I think the challenge they faced is that the messaging just drifted off that topic and into all sorts of other things, and they drifted off talking about their story. So I think it's a generation now who wouldn't even know the history of Body Shop or the story now. We only do because we're older.
Yeah. I used to buy all of my mum's birthday presents in the Body Shop.
Yeah.
So when I was like 10, I'd just go into the Body Shop and I'd just pick something up that was probably the cheapest thing I could look at.
But also it was, but to be, I go back to sort of then. So that would have been what? That would have been 1990 when we were 10, about 1990, whatever.
1995, yeah.
1995. You're kind of looking at, because I'm thinking when Body Shop, in the late 80s, when I would have been going into Body Shop, there was nowhere else that was doing something
like
so distinctive. So you knew you were buying something really unique that had come from. These days, like, it's very rare that any sort of beauty brand, skincare range is launched without real consideration for the environment, for cruelty-free, for everything that Anita Roddick and Body Shop stood for.
Well, it's become the sort of the standard, isn't it, for the industry. But the other bit, I think, Body Shop had a great in-store experience. So brand experience, on your point, Ben, really matters. So there's a model I use that Interbrand, or like global brand experts use, which says if you really want your brand to win, you need to basically deliver its purpose, deliver its values in 4 main areas. So the first of which is marketing and storytelling. So we're all about that. We're talking about that here. The second is about products. It's what you do. Then there's people and culture. So it's yourselves. It's what you're about. It's the environment, the culture of your brand. Think about a brand like Liquid Death. There's edge to that brand. You imagine what that brand's like. You want your brand to have edge. And then the last of the 4 is environment and channels. So your website. Any experience when we eventually go into retail, what does that like? How does that live and breathe a brand? Because that's where a brand falls over. It's like Body Shop, I think, used to have a very strong in-store experience, but I'd say Lush has taken some of that now. You look at that, everyone talks about experience when you walk into Lush. The smell, the odor, the staff, how they look after you. So all those bits matter. So as we're building this brand out, we'll be doing it through all 4 of those lenses. So it's going to be about great marketing, but it's going to be about the other areas too, the product, who you are, your personality, and importantly, where we show up and how we show up.
Well, Pete,
keep your clothes on is what you mean.
Keep my clothes on at all time.
Every time.
I always fall down on that bit.
Every time. Liquid Death is a brand that you've mentioned. Is that a brand that you've looked at and gone, wow, that's come out of left field. That's an amazing, what a brilliant, crazy, edgy idea that essentially is water in a can.
It's genius because we've talked, haven't we, in our sessions about having an enemy, and the enemy we're tackling here with this brand is about the fact that male skincare is incredibly complex and difficult. With Liquid Death, they've gone, actually the enemy is plastics, and actually the death bit is around death to plastics, and actually it's about having a new way to enjoy water. It's clever but simple, and often
it's cool as well.
It's cool. The typography appeals to all sorts of people. But I think often the ideas that the simplest are the best. There's something called the Ron Seal test.
Right.
And there's a great campaign years ago marketing about it does what it says on the tin.
Exactly what it says on the tin.
And actually, some of the best brands do exactly that. So Liquid Death, to me, I think is making a bold statement. Exactly, does what it says on the tin. Easy to understand, easy to buy into. And if you can make water cool with disruptive marketing, then genius, absolute genius.
I do feel very excited about the idea of, I know it's sort of, it's probably strangely closer than I think it is, but the idea of starting to think about packaging and things like that, whether we get that far or not, but I quite like the idea of doing something a little bit disruptive in that space, because I feel like everything looks the same when you go into Space NK, all very similar products, and it does feel exciting. I feel like that's when it's really real.
But there are some really cool, if you look at brands like Bubble or Bioma now, or Drunk Elephant.
Drunk Elephant,
and the packaging is really smart now. And you're right, it's half of that is the grabbing attention. But what you're going to have is not just great packaging, but a brilliant product that really, really works. You put the two together, together is powerful.
One of the things that I think, if you listen to last week's podcast, and we featured a little bit of the session where we were doing the naming and we were reducing the names down, and one of the rules that we had to base our names was it couldn't try too hard. It was one of the rules that Russ was talking about. Have you ever seen, because it's tempting, isn't it, to have really exciting packaging that's really cool and different and stuff, but maybe is a bit too busy. Is there examples of things you've seen, Pete, in your experience, that just have tried a little bit too hard and for whatever reason have fallen down because of that?
There aren't many. I think most brands do a lot of testing so they get it right before you get to that point. And again, what's going to be great with us, with the community, is we're going to involve the community, aren't we, in helping us develop this. So I think by the time we go to market, we'll have ironed out some of those cracks in it. The bigger challenge, your question's a great one, Ben, is around how you get disruption versus others, how you show up and how you look versus others. And often I think brands forget who they might be appearing against. So I think a big one for us is going to be, how does it look on shelf versus other things? How does it stand out if we're up against brands that are bright yellow or bright green or whatever? So
and have hundreds, if not millions of pounds of support behind them. They come from a massive multinational.
Absolutely, yeah. So we're going to have to get the disruption just right, particularly when we go in store. But even online, that disruption is going to really matter to stand out.
That's why you've got to dial up your OnlyFans.
That is something I can do.
Yes, that's why. Finally, we need the funds.
Yeah. You heard it first.
Right, so what we want to start trying to do is honing down and working on the brand values for our brand, Joel and Ben for Skin.
It's beautiful to hear you say it. It really is. It's real. It's happening.
We talked for a long time about those names. And from your experience, Pete, and you have real world brand experience, just sort of tell us why you think that is the name that is the right fit for us.
So I think you've got a great name in Joel and Ben's For Skin. That is... It's edgy, but it passes the does what it says on the tin list. So straight away you go, it is a product and it's for skin. I know it's obvious, but it's clever. But it's a name that's a talking point because it is slightly cheeky, and you're both a bit cheeky, and that's part of your brand values. And it will therefore get talked about. It's very easy to come up with a name that is just a bit ordinary and a bit mundane. And actually, you want to make headlines for the right reasons around, actually, wow, these guys are launching something and it's called this. But importantly, it means something, So I like it because it is a talking point and it is disruptive. And the male skincare category really needs a brand like this, I think, that is going to get talked about and going to get used, because men don't talk enough about skincare. They're not using enough skincare products. So the moment is now, but you want to enter the conversation with something original and fresh to talk about. And this brand will do that.
My friend Richard, I told you last week, you did the really awful Scouse impression of Richard.
Oh, yeah, sorry about
because
that.
He wanted no. He did. He said he was thrilled to make the podcast, but said you need to work on your Scouse impression. But he's come back to me this week about the names, and he just was saying it has to be For Skin. Reminds him a lot of when French Connection changed their initials to FC UK.
Do you remember when someone came with the FC UK t-shirt in school? That I will never forget
how exciting that was.
How excited everyone was. I remember it was this guy called Jason.
Was it?
And he came in and everyone was like, oh my God. He's got written on this t-shirt, but it's not
No.
Oh my God.
He's cleverer than that.
He brought it on
so clever.
An interesting thing he said, like it offended people, but it worked brilliantly and it sold an awful lot. Yeah. He talked about Chris Evans because I showed it to Chris and Chris immediately got it and loved it. He said, Chris is one of the great disruptors. His reaction was really telling. People will laugh with you. Some will laugh at you. Some may find it a little bit offensive, maybe a bit provoking a reaction, but it's far more important than just shuffling quietly onto the shelves.
I would agree.
It's great.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, the FC UK is a good example because I think they're another brand that then lost their way afterwards. Yes. So I think the important thing for us is you've got a really clever name. It's disruptive, it's smart, but we're going to have to keep building the brand story over time. And the products we're going to launch, which we know about, are very, very exciting.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to keep the thing going because having a clever name is one thing. That's one conversation. You need to keep the conversation going. And particularly in a world of TikTok shops, TikTok trending beauty is massive. You need to keep having a conversation. Things to go in, new threads to talk about that are beyond the name. They're about what you're about and the strength of your products. And that's the journey we're on.
Okay, so what about brand values then? I mean, we've sort of talked about this briefly in the past, but what's your perspective on it for us now, Pete?
So the big things we've talked about is you've had the benefit of, in the industry you're in, of being well looked after by people that do brilliant skincare, and hence you both look fantastic today.
Stop
It's I know.
Thank you.
Just a little something.
It's just a little something you put on earlier.
Yeah.
So what I love is you're bringing that expertise here. So there's something authentic about your story. Is your skin's been well looked after, but you know that for most men this hasn't been on their radar and actually has been too difficult or too time consuming. The average SPF takes forever. Just think about your sun cream, forever to rub in. The thought that you could develop something that is authentic, that you've seen great products that really work for men, that actually you want to give that gift back to men and give men more confidence in their skincare and actually make them feel good as part of their health, beauty and living regime feels really fresh. That's the bit I think we want to weave into the values. This sort of no-nonsense, authentic, credible is also what you're about as well, but with a little bit of a nod and a wink. It's clever. You'd be quite happy to put that product on your shelf or show it to people because it's smart. It's a smart choice. Those are all the things we want to get in the values and the DNA of this brand.
Simple, functional, and fun.
I love that.
Like us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
SFF. That's what we are. Do you give any advice for people who are sort of maybe entrepreneurs themselves or business owners when it comes to sort of marketing and brand values? Is there any sort of pointers that are sort of the gospel for those?
I definitely stick to the model I talked about earlier on, but at the heart of that model of around whether it is marketing or the product or the environment and who your people are in the business, I think having a sense of purpose and identity that is distinctive and unique. So is your idea original? Is it distinctive? Is it going to stand out? And also, are you really clear who it's for and what it's for? And we've got a very clear target audience who we're going after. I've come across brands through the years that sort of, it's a clever idea, but struggling, trying to find an audience. So I'd always start with the customer in mind. So who's your product for? Who's really going to gravitate towards it? Is it distinct? Is there anything different out there? And actually, is your mark, your brand strong enough to carry you through that? The bit I love with marketing today is in when I first started my career at British Gas, it was all about the big TV ad. I remember the brand team at the time, which wasn't me, went off to South Africa to film an ad. It was like the gold standard. You went to Cape Town. My first ad was filmed in a warehouse in Croydon. That's when I knew I'd made it. And actually, you don't need that now. With the advent of AI and production values, you can do lower cost but really effective video production now. You can do low cost activity on paid channels, on organic channels, on social media. So the barriers to entry, I think, are less now. And TikTok, particularly, like I said, on beauty has been phenomenal. So I think if you can get those bits right, you can really launch a brand in a really effective way and build momentum. And it's been great to see so many brands. Made by Mitchell's a great example, a great beauty brand that launched on and were made famous on TikTok. It's possible to do that and build momentum now, but it has to be a really fresh idea. And you've got to know, who are you for? Because you're not going to be for everyone. Who are you going to be for and who are you going to support and what's your point of difference?
Pete, one of the questions we ask our guests when they come on The Businessman, because it is important that we know, is about their skincare routine. You have a beautiful looking face of skin. How do you keep it looking so beautiful?
I do, yeah. So I use a serum and a cream in the morning and at night.
Right. Are these things that you discovered when you were working at Boots? When did you start taking it more seriously?
Yeah, definitely. No, I've always used a really good like moisturizer with part of my shaving routine because I've got sensitive skin. You can get so many things that haven't got soap in now. So that's always been part of it. But actually I discovered, the power of retinol, I discovered the power of having a morning and nighttime regime. And actually it doesn't take as long as people think. And you don't feel as silly after a while as a bloke. You just go, well, this is just part of me getting ready for bed. It's like brushing my teeth. Brush my teeth, put some stuff on,
and also,
head to sleep.
Once you get into that sort of regime of it, it's quite fun.
You really love that, don't you?
No, it's getting I need to condense mine now.
Because yours is quite long.
It's
quite
gotten
complicated.
too much.
Lots of levels.
I just went to the dentist this morning and we added in an extra step. It's like, it's getting too long.
It's 2 hours in the morning now.
LED helmet. I've got it. Lucky I don't have a proper job.
You have no time for that.
No time. Oh, God. I was supposed to be at work 8.5 hours ago.
Look, Pete, we absolutely love the fact that you're coming along on this journey with us. We would be, this is no question, no word of a lie, we'd be absolutely lost without you and the rest of the team. We're really excited to see what happens, but thank you for being a part of it.
Thank you too. I'm loving being part of the journey.
Yeah. And who knows where we're going to end up, but it's going to be a lot of fun trying to find our way. And I'm very glad we've got SatNav.
Thank God.
Thank God for SatNav.
SatNav, Pete.
Yeah.
If only your name was Tom.
Tom. Tom.
That's the joke.
Do they even exist anymore, Tom?
No, I get it. No, it's a brand.
It's a brand
that went wrong.
It lost its
Competitive market.
Yeah,
It
didn't have its own
TomTom.
sat
Hold on,
nav.
Tom lost his way.
Oh, no.
The irony.
Oh, God. That was fascinating. Absolutely loved Pete talk to us. Really, really great stuff. Join us next week when we're going to be talking logos. Ooh. Very exciting to finally sort of start thinking about all that. How do you logo for skin? Who knows?
Can you logo?
I don't know what a logo is.
Let's get someone who knows how to logo what the logo's going to be. Remember to subscribe on YouTube and follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Do get in touch via our Patreon, of course. Send us any questions you might have. We love being able to include all of you listening in the podcast, don't we, Joel?
Yes, we absolutely do. So get in touch on the Boardroom on Patreon and listen to us wherever you get your podcasts or on YouTube or wherever you do all that business. Thank you very much for joining us today.
We will see you for more next week from Joel and Ben for Skin.